Big Boosie, man. Happy holidays to everybody. To all my knowledgeable people out there, hope your holidays be a great one with your family, because that's what it's all about. It's all about the family and praising our God, man. The Most High. That's a fact. This one right here, I had to I had to react to this. I'm using this under fair use, These are the things that we've been talking about to these young cats out here that don't understand the value of life, of real life, the value of their own life, even after committing a crime, and thinking with doing that type of crime, it consists of just as if you punching somebody in the face, not being aware of your surroundings, of actually pulling out those blowers and then start blowing anywhere, anyhow. No type of training for utilizing them, and innocent people lives get took. A young lady lost her life for something senseless. And I want to say it's over some jury. We're going to go into a few of these things and let the judge say a few things so y'all can hear and get the full impact of what's going on with this case. And this is a real serious story. It's very sad. It's very sad due to the fact that the guys are young, man. And these guys, it was 16, 14, and 17, I believe, at the time. Don't quote me on it. It's gonna go. I think they're gonna speak about it in there, but it's a thing where, you know, these young cats, their mentals are not developed yet, and it can't bring back the life that they took. And a lot of this is upbringing in the household. Everybody know that. It's just common that when these things happen, it is because of the upbringing in the household. And it's just a sad situation that people bring kids into this world and don't monitor them the correct way, don't give them some type of things to do, so to speak, man. Things to do, some type of regimen every day, showing them what is supposed to be a productive citizen growing up. And then they learn these things that put them in this situation. And if they knew what they knew then, they wouldn't be in this situation. And that's a fact. Non-conformist. What's good? And you know, that's the sad part about this, man. The most very sad part is that a beautiful young girl lost her life, man. And these guys will still get to live and be in jail for the rest of their life. And they get to talk to their families and things of that nature. And I know it's rough to say at that age bracket, because from what I'm hearing, they're getting ready to stop giving these young cats life and life without parole, stuff like that, because they are taking into the fact that young people are young and their brains are not fully there, and they'll make decisions that are not valid ones, and it'll put themselves into this type of situation. And this is when they really get their mind right. But outside, you can't tell them nothing, because they can go outside. They don't have to pay you no attention. They can keep walking and keep doing whatever they're doing. And it's sad, man. It's sad. Like I said, people bring kids in this world and don't pay them no attention. Let them be outside doing what they want to do, even though they could be outside anyway with good home training and still want to keep up with the Joneses and be doing crazy stuff out there, trying to keep up with the friends that are bad. And a lot of them don't even be bad. A lot of them just do what they see other people do. Watch TV, listen to rap records, and try to dictate what they see and hear, and end up in these type of situations, and then have to go through this trauma, being in prison, So, you know, it's pretty much watching this, I kind of felt bad for them, but I gotta feel all the way bad for the families that lost their little loved one, man. That right there is heartbreaking. This whole situation, man. And there are a lot of these that I've been seeing come across my timeline, and I want to react to some of these because that's what street knowledge is about. I want to show these kids, don't wait to the last minute to be sitting in that chair right there, and then you can talk like you got sense, because a lot of them have a lot of sense, but they don't care because they too busy doing what they want to do. They don't want to do the following the rules of life. We all did it. And I could say I disobeyed my parents a lot of times, snuck out the house and doing things outside that I know my mother and father wouldn't approve of. I was one of those kids. Thank God that I didn't get caught up in a situation like this one, but I was at one point in time facing 60 years. And luckily that I got 5 years out of it. It wasn't a spank on the hand, because 5 years is a long time, but a life sentence is in 60 years. Imagine if I would have got even close to it, because 25 years is basically a life sentence, man. And this is rough. So we're gonna react to some of this. I'm gonna let y'all see some of this of what's going on. All right, pay attention.
Or anything else, now is your opportunity. And just try to use that microphone so we can hear you, okay?
Yeah. I want to start off by saying I'm sorry to the victims, family, and the cause of their death of their family member. I'm sorry for all my actions that took in this place and in this courtroom. I don't really know what to say. I lost a lot of my family members in crossfire, so I know how I feel, and I'm gonna take responsibility for everything that's in this case. And I just want to say sorry to my family and to their family. Hope everybody could forgive me or what my actions took. And that's it.
Now look at his face. Like right there. That just looks, you know, that's one of the parts that kind of touched me about this, because I know in his mind he wish he could just return the hands of time right now. And you know, I'm just looking at his actions, because nothing is funny about none of this. I'm just looking and just wondering what's pondering through his head. Like he said, he don't even know what more to say behind that. And I really wish his lawyer would have gave him an assignment to write out what he wanted to say. Because it's pretty much like he didn't really know how to articulate really being sorry. And he might have been sincere, but once again, the upbringing, and he probably wasn't doing right in school and things of that nature, man. This is a sad situation for our youth that's growing up with these mentalities, man. And they coming, you know, they coming back to back with it. And it's not going to be the last time. Excuse me, y'all. And it's not going to be the last time. It's going to be more teenagers doing this stuff. There's some more. There's some other ones. I'm going to react to them later, but we're going to get to this, man.
It's a plethora of some of the most serious charges anyone could be facing.
The lawyer pats him on the back, which I know he got to comfort him. That's his job. At the end of the day, that still is no real comfort.
Not only did people die, or a person died, multiple people were injured, multiple people were put at risk of losing their life or otherwise being seriously injured. Attorney Tony referenced, I think for the first time today, I don't believe there was a reference to it other than in passing or if anyone was paying attention to the video that was played. The little boy, don't know how old he is, looks maybe 5 or 6, takes his little scooter, he's just out, looks like having a good time. As he's riding that scooter, he rides it directly under the shooting for Mr. Johnston and Mr. Larry.
And see, that's the crazy part. Once again, like I said, they're shooting and not being aware of their surroundings. A little boy, 5 years old, riding on his scooter. That's crazy. And you know, thinking with anger always make you make the wrong decisions also. And they act like they got a license to do so. And they act like that once this actually take place and actually go down, they think that it's not going to be no consequences behind it, which they know it is, because they went on a run, if I'm mistaken. But what were you thinking about it at the beginning? Who do you see that do shootings out in the open like this don't go to jail? They never seen these people go to jail. That's why I'm doing these right here. So make sure y'all share this, man. Please share it. Hit that like button for me too. And if y'all new in here, please hit the subscribe button for me, man. But it was a 5-year-old boy and they out here blasting off like that. That's crazy.
There's a lot of talk, and I'll circle back to this as it relates to Mr. Larry, of people becoming products of their environment. That little boy should not have to grow up thinking that type of behavior, that risk, these circumstances are in any way, shape, or form normal, because they're not.
Facts. And see, our kids that age that live in those type of neighborhoods see that type of stuff. And if it don't affect them, they'll see that, you know, the older guys did it. They might even want to take that on when they get older. Just what this judge is saying also. And he shouldn't have to grow up with that horrifying act that put him in harm's way also. So it could go either way. It's traumatizing, man.
There aren't any charges as it relates to that little boy. I bring it up because it shows the seriousness of what took place here. It also shows quite clearly the concern for public safety that accompanies these charges that this court has. So when it comes to gravity of the offense, it can't get more grave than that.
We've helped fiercely protect the Wild Kingdom.
Hold on 1 second, y'all. I'm giving y'all the real reality of it. We'll get through these commercials and everything. This is a sad situation. And a lot of people need to pay more close attention to their kids, their activity. Don't be in the house sleeping and they outside doing what they want to do.
Of Mr. Larry, he's very young. I cannot deny that. 14, I believe, when these circumstances took place.
Right, he was 14 years old. Where do these 14-year-olds get these pistols and stuff from? Where? When are we gonna hold people really accountable for bringing them here?
This court presided not only over the trial, but also that reverse waiver hearing. I remember both sets of proceedings. There is no doubt that the science referenced by Attorney Mogren is accurate. It matches with common sense. Anybody who may have a child, you recognize that that child's brain continues to evolve, to develop as time passes, as they gain more experience. So as Mr. Larry sits here, I have no doubt that he is continuing to learn, and his brain is continuing to develop, and he may very well be a different person 5 years from now. I think generally speaking, the research tends to show till about age 25. And even then, obviously, we all continue to learn from those experiences. So he's young. He has educational difficulties, as noted by the IEP. And
that's my point right there. He's young, and the judge just said it. He has school problems. Hold on 1 second. He has problems in school. And that shows the mentality of these young cats, man. But listen to the judge.
The ADHD. He does not have any criminal history. He does not have any juvenile history. I think there were some references to some citations, getting in some trouble at school, but nothing else that would show a pattern of this type of behavior. While that history is lacking, what's not is some of the evidence of behavior that he engaged in prior to the circumstances of May 7th. There was reference to, in the PSI, I think Attorney Tony hit on some of that today during the trial and the reverse waiver hearing. Mr. Larry had a significant number of concerning social media posts. Posts that involved a large amount of guns, some with extended magazines.
Now look at that. How do these kids get that type of stuff, man? And he was 14 and posting it on their Instagrams. And see, that's another thing. People need parents need to watch what their kids are putting on their social medias. Maybe they would have learned how to counteract some of this stuff early so their child won't be here losing their life. And his family is there supporting him. The other one, their family wasn't there to support him, but we'll get to that in a minute. But this is what's wild right here.
The video that was played, that live feed, as I've already referenced, you hear him make threats to Mr. Johnson, and you hear him talk about going pipe for pipe.
Wow.
Even in the PSI, he acknowledges and talks.
Look at his demeanor and how he's acting right now when that stuff is being said back to him from his actions. Well, I think it was 2 years ago. But look at his demeanor.
Talks about how his dad is his twin, I think to his dad's dismay. The PSI referenced that his dad did not want that life for Mr. Larry and tried to discourage any type of gang-banging activity.
That's
It's
what's
not
up.
my phrase, it's the phrase used in the PSI.
And see, sometimes we try, but they'll go and do what they want to do when we're not watching or looking, man. And this is the thing where not listening to your parents goes wrong for you.
But it references statements from Mr. Larry indicating he believed that life to be glamorous.
Glamorous.
Just pulling that out so that I don't misspeak.
To y'all young cats, man, there's nothing glamorous about that right now. Nothing. And y'all will look at this and still go outside right after you watch something like this and still be out there with them blowers in your hands or in your pockets or in your waist and not think about what you just watched and not think about that could be you sitting where he's sitting right now. Y'all make sure y'all share this, man. Share this.
He felt he got to know his father and said, "That is my twin right now." He would look up to his father and cousins and always saw himself getting into those things. He was able to provide an example of him throwing up gang signs at his father, but his father did not want him to be like him. He says his father did the same thing, and gang banging with cousins a little bit, and the life of gangs and drugs was glamorous. His father used to punch him a few times and would tell him to stop doing things, but then felt his father gave up on him about it. He said his father did not discipline other than not liking him gang banging and swearing. He said he and father, I think it meant to be his father, were both not able to be controlled.
And that's crazy when you're 14 and think you are not able to be controlled. And you don't really have that parent right there to really stay on your neck to try to even discipline you. Know you can't go outside today. You was outside doing this. You was outside doing that. At this point in his mind, he feels he can defy his father, which means he had a father in his life, and we can't say that it was no father around because they just said it. And this still happens even with a father around. But it just depends on how strict you lay down your parenting. This is a sad one, y'all.
Certainly a concerning statement. It's one that can be viewed a few ways. It's dangerous. It shows someone that is on a path to making many poor choices in life. Or can it be chalked up to youth and immaturity? So I fully recognize and appreciate the fact that Mr. Larry is very young. But those additional circumstances can't be ignored either. There were statements that were made that, well, when gunfire broke out, these were the circumstances. He essentially, based on his immaturity and his lack of development, fired back, right? He wasn't able, in the heat of the moment, to make the right choice that perhaps an adult could make.
And that's the point I was making right there, y'all. He was young, and she said it. In the heat of the moment, he couldn't make the right choice that an adult would make. And even though we got a lot of adults that make the wrong decisions in the heat of the moment like that as well. I have another piece of commentary I'm going to show y'all later on another live, but let's go.
But as to that point, I agree with the state that this is not the only circumstance that the court's looking at in a vacuum. The issue of self-defense was put before the jury. They clearly did not find that defense appropriate, as they did convict Mr. Larry. If this was a circumstance where there was not prior action and he still happened to be guilty of possessing a firearm as a juvenile and had a gun on him, and circumstances just erupted and he acted, that'd be a different set of circumstances than the circumstances before the court today. The shooting itself is certainly something the court looks at, but I don't look at it in a vacuum. Mr. Larry had these engagements trying, it appeared, to provoke some type of altercation with Mr. Johnson. He has these videos, these posts, in an attempt apparently either to brag to his friends. Again, it can be a sign of youth and stupidity.
And see, he put the videos up bragging about what he was doing or what he was gonna do. Like, come on, man. This is crazy. This is crazy. Bella Schwartzwitz says, sometimes the law works. Yeah, sometimes, and it has to work, man. They have no choice at this point. He's trying to claim self-defense, but the other guy already heard him saying when he see him what he gonna do to him. So that's why it wasn't self-defense, because the other guy was just prepared because you made those idle threats already. What else was he supposed to do? If you would have caught him without his, he would have been in more world of a whirlwind or possibly lost his life.
But it also shows that the circumstances of May 5th did not erupt of their own accord. There was some type of disagreement. And looking back, I presume everyone involved in these circumstances would consider it to be trivial. whether it was a piece of jewelry, a chain, a piece of materiality that people were fighting over, or whether that chain meant something to someone, whether it stood for something different. That I don't know. But there was testimony, there's certainly significant evidence that the beef that existed had to do with this chain. As there's a verbal altercation that starts taking place, it appears on May 7th that Mr. Johnston attempts to be the tough guy. Indicates that you're not going to pick on little Parise here. He's younger. You can pick on me. He pulls out his firearm, has it at his side. As additional steps are taken toward him, we don't have the benefit of that audio, but we see steps continue to be taken forward. I believe Mr. Johnston had testified that he indicated to Mr. Johnson that if he took any more steps forward, he would force his hand. Mr. Johnston fired first. It appears Mr. Larry in short accord after that, and Mr. Johnson gets off a round. All of this puts everyone else in that parking lot and people not in the parking lot, like Mr. Rosario Rodriguez, who's sleeping in his home, at risk. So I can't say that.
I believe that the guy that she just spoke about, he was in his home and a bullet went through the home and struck him in the back. And this is what's ultimately, man, poor judgment, poor thought process that leads anybody to be sitting right here. You're just sitting in your home and you minding your business and still get outside gun violence, man. This is crazy.
These circumstances are just one of a bad decision made by a young kid under circumstances that were incredibly stressful. It's a piece of it. It's not the entire story.
I need to find my dog.
And you know, these are the things, man, that we try hard to keep our kids out of, man. And you know, parents showing them their kids that this the lifestyle that they did, what you expect them to want to do, want to follow that. And that's just what he did, calling his father his twin. And his father did these things. So he wanted to dictate what he seen his father do, and he was out of control, would not even listen to his father. That's crazy, man.
I also am taking into consideration the argument made by Attorney Mogren as it relates to the facts and circumstances that were Parise Larry's life. It goes into what makes him him. So they are things that the court factors in as far as his character goes. But I'm not willing to chalk everything up to Mr. Larry being a product of his environment. That's why I had those follow-up questions. Because he had and still has a lot of things going for him. I can't think of a single individual, a single child who has the picture-perfect life. And I don't presume to be in a circumstance or a situation where I can put myself in Mr. Larry's shoes. It would be disingenuous to suggest that I could. But chalking everything up to one being a product of their environment and choices being forced upon him, I think that does a disservice to the many young men who put in the time and the effort not to surround themselves with individuals who may be leading them down the wrong path.
And that's what I'm saying. as parents, man, we gotta monitor them so they won't be around the type of guys or females, for that matter, that do lead you down the wrong path. That's why you have to have some type of structure for them around the house, some chores. You got to do certain things before they can be able to go out and have fun. At least that little bit of training might put them in the right thought process, frame of mind of being somewhere where they can recognize that what the guys that they're hanging with is doing wrong, and they can say, nah, I'll see y'all later, hit me when y'all finish. And this is what the judge is saying.
Who put forth their talents in school, who make the decision not to be another statistic. Certainly there are things in Mr. Larry's life, he wasn't surrounded by the right types of people. But you could see by some of those prior videos, he certainly was making a lot of his own poor decisions well in advance of May 7th. So it's a factor that is part of an explanation as to how he came to be the person that he is, and perhaps how he came to be in these circumstances. But it's not an excuse. I think there's been a lot that I've heard as far as remorse goes. I think the facts that were pointed out by the PSI writer, which is in part why I referenced that, those are facts. Mr. Larry did flee the scene. He did not call 911 to my knowledge. He did toss the gun in the garbage can at the Tyson Middle School, did flee, but he also did then turn himself in. So certainly some...
And they're doing these crimes knowing what the consequences is later, because you knew of the fact that when you ran and tossed it, you tossed it at a school, silly. Then when you knew they was looking for you, you're going to turn yourself in. Why y'all doing these crimes like this, knowing that you going to jail next? That's the next step. Now you proving that you tough. Everybody you proving that you're tough to is not sitting in that courtroom with you right now, man. This is bonkers that our young cats is thinking like this, man.
Things that the court views more in a negative light, some positive character traits. The fact that he came and turned himself in certainly speaks in favor of some positive character and some good choices that he was able to make. But there are individuals who believe he's shown zero remorse for what's happened. I've read that in victim impact statements. I've heard that in the courtroom. I've also heard the opposite, that members of Mr. Larry's family, people close to him, believe that he is truly remorseful and have seen a real change in him. It's unclear to me whether he has been able to fully digest these circumstances such that he could show true remorse at this point in time. But I heard his statements today. He's indicating that he's remorseful. He's made an apology. I will leave it up to those in the courtroom who feel it necessary to have that validation, to interpret it as they will. I will take his words at their meaning and him at his word as he sits here today.
I almost got.
And this here is a big impact on his whole family. It got crazy, which I'll probably show y'all later. His family ended up fighting. Like 3 fights broke out in there after his sentencing. I don't think they're going to show it on this one, but...
As I've indicated, as serious as it gets. The character of Mr. Larry, we've got some things working in his favor, some things working against it. And looking at public safety, I think hear there being a significant disagreement of how much these types of circumstances give the court cause for public safety. I think the issue is looking at a sentence, whether or not in the future we're able to address any rehabilitative needs for Mr. Larry such that that can quell the court's concern for public safety. Is this going to happen again? Is he going to harm anyone else? It's always easier said if hindsight's 2020. I don't know that as I sit here today. What I know is he is a young man who engaged in very risky behavior, who engaged in behavior that took the life of another individual and seriously injured multiple other individuals. And since that time, I would say it is concerning as well, the information that this was listed in the PSI that the state pointed out, that he's continuing to engage in assaultive type behavior. Again, is that a product of his youth? Or is it a fundamental product of his character such that it gives the court additional concern for public safety? I think it's a little bit of both. So no doubt that the decision before the court is a serious one.
And Ray Freeman said, my pops always told me you gotta have a gun for a meaningful reason. Without a reason, just having a gun leads to stupidity. Big facts, man. Tell your pops thumbs up, man. And I'm glad that you listened to that. I'm glad you listened to that, man. If a lot of these young cats would listen, we wouldn't be having these situations sitting here and people unalived just minding their business, having fun outside. Little young, beautiful girl, man. It's crazy, man.
It's not one I take lightly. It's a decision that will sit with me for the rest of my life. It is my job to evaluate those factors, look at the circumstances before the court, the evidence that I've heard come in, the background that has been able to be provided to me as it relates to the defendant and the various individuals involved in these circumstances. Weigh those in a way that balances those factors into a just sentence, one that is not any more serious than it needs to be.
Fila. Salute for you. Salute, Fila. Ray Freeman, thank you.
All right, I'm going to start diving in as it relates to the court sentence. And as to count 9, the court is going to order life imprisonment without the possibility of extended supervision.
Life without the possibility of extended supervision.
And that will run the other counts that the court identified consecutive to each other. All of them will run concurrent to count 9. Mr. Johnston, and is there...
Now, this is the other guy right here. And he didn't write anything down as far as, his statement to the family. And his family didn't even come and show up for him right here. And I understand, either his family is the reason why he's sitting there because they never paid him no attention. And they full of, of ish. Because I still think that they should have been there for him. That'll make him want to do some things while he in there, get some school training in there, things of that nature. And he spoke very well. It shows me that he's very intelligent and should have had this thought process before he did what he did. And he was the older one, but he also didn't go to trial. And he took a plea. And he also cooperated against the other guy we just seen. He also cooperated. And he was the one that told the other guy that they came out there for the beef for, to tell him, don't pick on the little guy, pick on me. Because he was older. But still took the stand. And he drew his weapon first. For real. So we're going to see him, but he speaks good. And I could tell he's sincere. It's my opinion on that. Y'all drop your comments when y'all see it and let me know what y'all think about his statement that he made to the family and to the courts, man. And then I want y'all to watch his head drop when the judge give him his time. And this is what the kids need to see right here. This is real reality, man. So please make sure y'all share this, man, and hit the like button. Let's go.
An attorney apparently talked through with you. You don't have to make a statement, but if you wish to do so, now is your opportunity to let me know anything else that you'd like me to consider before I impose sentence today.
To speak now?
Now is that opportunity, yes. Just try to, if we could, make sure you try to use that microphone so I can hear you. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, and this is real deep, man. Ray Freeman said, Commonwealth will get you all the time. Yeah, Commonwealth states don't play. And make it so bad that he even cooperated on the stand against his boy, because his boy went to trial. He copped out. They gonna applaud him for copping out and owning up to what he did. But at the end of the day, he still got a life without parole sentence, even with cooperating. This right here shows you that cooperating is never the way to go. It's never the way to go. If you wanna get some results, just own up to what you're gonna do and don't bring the next man down, because now he's gonna be in jail with a life sentence, but considered a rat. He's gonna have a rough time in jail. The police don't care about you. Police don't like rats. They just like when you rat. But he's gonna have a rough time in jail. Go to trial, or just cop out if you feel bad that happened to that girl, because I could tell he did. Y'all gonna see in a second. But cop out without testifying, man. It's benefited him nothing. No kind of way. None. But y'all check it out.
For allowing me.
Hold on, y'all. Hold on 1 second, man. I'm sitting here getting too excited. I done got excited, y'all. Really, really disgrace, but we're gonna fix it. We're gonna get it right.
So looking at the seriousness of the crime, as I've indicated, as
We're gonna get it right, y'all. This one is a serious one right here.
To speak now?
now is that opportunity, yes. Just try to, if we could, make sure you try to use that microphone so I can hear you. Okay?
Yes, ma'am. First, I just want to say thank you, Your Honorable Judge Levy, for allowing me to address the court on my behalf. And as you may see, my family is not here in person to give a verbal statement on my behalf, but
His parents, his family, not even here to give a verbal statement on his character and things of that nature. This is the sad part. And what I want y'all to understand, he's doing this without writing nothing down. The last guy, he said his piece, but he should have wrote something down. This one here shows me he's a little more intellectual and he's not no slow leak. Pay attention.
I just want to say first, I want to give my deepest and sincere condolences to the entire Zek family or anybody else that has been harmed, and that includes friends, family, distant friends, everyone who has been harmed in any type of way, shape, or form by this tragedy that occurred on May 7, 2023. I am so very sorry. I never intended to harm Tatiana Zek, and I'm so sorry that she has lost her life. I know that I have never met her, but from what I have read from the victim's mother and sister and friends, that she was a wonderful person, that she, as was earlier stated, that she was a wonderful hairstylist and she was a very heartfelt person.
Look, he did his research on the female that they innocently hit. He did his research on her, and you could tell he really remorseful about what he's saying. He's really I'm believing. I believe him. I believe him. Feel Speak said the rat got the same time as Crazy. Yep, he gets the same time. Y'all getting ready to see. Ray Freeman said the last guy didn't finish school. You can tell. Exactly. Exactly. And listen to this guy.
I just want to give my deepest condolences to the entire Zek family. I am so very sorry that my actions led to Tatiana losing her life. I also would like to state that I am very sorry to the Fond du Lac community for acting so recklessly and not thinking. Me being 17 years old, I have been through trials and tribulations in my life, and I have been put in situations where I had to think, and that situation that occurred on May 7th was one of those situations that I should have thought and proceeded with my day.
And see, this is when they get caught up and then they realized that they should have thought different. It take jail to make us think. And I'm saying us, because I was one of them cats. And thank God that I didn't get caught up in none of with a situation like this one. So I'm not saying that I'm an angel, but these are the reasons why I created this podcast to push this type of stuff to the youth. For real. But this is when we always want to learn. This is when we always want to learn in these type of situations. Now, when we do get locked up, I've been in and out of jail. I beat it because cops ain't come, things of that nature, and I still be back outside. See, we go back outside, but we don't face the ultimate. This right here put them, skipped over everything and put them at the ultimate. So now they have nothing but time to think, and knowing that they was facing either death penalty or life sentence really made them sharpen up fast because it was in 2023. But it's sad that we have to go there to get our mind right. Feel Speak said, I was one of them too, Boost. Yeah, that's a fact, bro. So thank God we still here and we figured it out, man. And it's our job to show these young cats this ain't what it is. Now, if somebody's bothering you, I'm not saying don't defend yourself. That's just that. And they tried to run off of defense, but they was putting up stuff in social media telling the dude when he seen what they was going to do to him, man. For real. Feel Speak said, the Lord saved my young dumb ass. I was crashing out doing dumb stuff in the 90s. Facts, and it take a real man such as yourself to even admit that. For real. And it's people like you that gotta speak to these young cats, man. Pull their coat when you see them doing something. That's all we can do is try. We ain't gonna be with them every second, man. And that's the only thing we doing right now, man. This is really sad for him. Extra sad for the family, man. Because he was young and not thinking, and he admits to that as well. So he really know what he did and his actions was not appropriate at that point in time. So it's sad he had to learn this way, man. And then he don't got no family back, and this is crazy.
But my actions showed otherwise, and that is why I'm here in front of you today, Your Honorable Judge Levy. I really want you to take into consideration that I've entered those guilty pleas. I have took the stand against my co-defendant.
See, he say he took the stand against his co-defendant. And he's going to have a rough time in jail now behind that. Because either way, he didn't even understand. Even taking the stand on your co-defendant, bro, wasn't going to help you. And that's crazy. Felon Speak said, and he at the age he getting adult time too. Shaking my head. Yup. When they'll wait the case out until you get that certain age so they can give you that full effect, man. The strategy of the prosecution, man. And his lawyer should have told him, give him a speedy trial. That's a fact. Damn.
I admitted my guilt, and I am so very sorry to the community and to the entire Zek family and anybody else who has been affected by this tragedy. They're not the only ones that have been affected. My life has been affected. Perry's Larry life has been affected. Also his family and mine.
You can take a moment. You have the floor until you tell me you're done.
I'm sorry.
Maybe his family couldn't take that pain watching him about to get life. I want to at least say that, man. I want to at least say that. I don't want us to think that they're that much of horrible parenting that they just still leaving him there to handle this by himself because he's still young. And this is deep right now, but let's listen.
You have the floor until you tell me you're done.
I'm sorry. I'm not here in front of you with a piece of paper that everything could be fabricated about. I am speaking genuinely from the heart.
And this is deep. He basically understands that. He letting them know I didn't write nothing down so it'll sound like I'm just writing stuff so you can be lenient on me. He's really speaking from the heart. And he knows that, showing that he's not using paper, that the judge or whoever else listening, knowing that he is sorry. That's what making me believe what he's saying, because it's coming off the top of his head. You only can flow like that if you are genuine about what you're saying, man, for real, and not, without having nothing written down. It's a sad situation, man.
I understand that you have a job to do today. I just hope that you could be lenient enough and allow me to be released at or after the 20-year mark. I know you don't have any obligation.
Look, he asked for that 20-year mark to be able to be released, especially after he took the stand on his boy. But y'all pay attention.
Just to do so, but I really assure you that the time being spent in the Fond du Lac County Jail and my future would be in any prison or maximum facility.
It hurt him to even have to say in any prison. He paused on it before he said prison. He know where he's about to go once he leave from there, man.
That I will be well rehabilitated and that I will grow as a man, and I am learning and I have learned from my mistakes. I want to end by saying this. I want to thank you again, Your Honorable Judge Levy, for allowing me to address the court on my behalf and giving my deepest condolences to the entire Zek family and everybody else who has been affected. And I am so very sorry. And I just beg you, please just give me another chance to show that I am worth it and that I am not a disgrace to society and I am not a menace to society. That after the time.
And see, that's another thing. When you play with them blowers, and you're really not even that type of person. He's not even that type of person, man. And I'm really believing this. But this is what happens when you want to be a follower, when you listen to these rappers talk about they blowers and what they went to do and all of that stuff. And they are nothing but just rappers. And they ain't even in that world no more. But nowadays they are in that world. But before, when the older rappers talked about it, they wasn't out there doing none of that stuff. Like Jeezy talking about he was the snowman. You wasn't out there hustling no more. You're getting real money now. You don't have to be out there. But the up and coming new guys, the new guys that's out now, they still really doing it and thinking that that's cool on Demon Time music. And they teach people like him that's really not no gunslinger to be out there with them and portraying to be something that they not. And now he really realizes it.
That I will have been served or being served. I will be well rehabilitated enough to come back into society and be a normal and respected citizen. I do have ties to Fond du Lac. I have a mother. I have a child. I have siblings. I have nieces and nephews that is here.
Now he got a kid that he's not even gonna be there to father. And see, these are the things what's killing our culture with our kids learning this stuff. We gotta cut it off at the path. That's why I created this. That's why brothers like Unique Mecca Audio talk to the kids, because he did 26. He had life. He had life plus 26 years and gave it back. But he got kids. Now his kid gonna grow up knowing that the father is still behind bars and can't never get out. That's crazy, man. Now that's a dysfunction in the household where his kid's about to grow up and know and be having to see his father or her father behind bars when they go visit him. She's pretty much gonna grow up with her father or him growing up, whichever he had, a daughter or a son, with him being behind bars. Ray Freeman said that 2 years just prepped them for a lifetime journey. Facts, man. I thought about it just like that, man.
And I'm just not ready to just be taken away from them just forever. I understand that I have to be rehabilitated for my actions, and I am admitting guilt. I have admitted guilt, and I'm sorry for that, but please just know that I am sorry from the bottom to the top of my heart of my actions that I have did on May 7th of 2023. And I just hope that the entire Zek family and everybody else that has been harmed in any type of way, shape, or form could someday forgive me, even though I know Tatiana Zek would never be able to be held by them when she cries or be comforted by someone when they're down or speak to again.
Right. You just heard him say it was a girl. You as soon as you asked that question, Fila Speak said, I don't condone snitching, but why he get the same time? Right. That shows people snitching. Do your time. That's it. Do your time. Because they don't care about you. Do your time. And him admitting to what he did because he know it was a mistake. She wasn't the aim. So he recognizing it. He still spoke about it. But Fila said the crime was that was it that bad? Yes, it was that bad. He said a little girl, right? Yep, you just heard him say that. As soon as you put that in the comments, man.
I'm sorry for that. And I know sorry's not gonna bring Tatiana back. I know sorry's not gonna pay the price that needs to be paid.
I wonder how the young lady that lost her life. I wonder how her family is responding to his testimony right now to this, man. Do they forgive him? I know it's gonna be hard to forgive, man. I have little girls, man. I have daughters, man. It's like, man, I couldn't imagine, man. And then watching the person that did it, would I feel sorry for him if I was sitting in that courtroom listening to him speak, man? Meaning, would I forgive him rather? Because he was young. Would I have to put that in my mind that he was young, but my baby's still not here? Can I forgive him? I've seen people that forgives when a person is in that courtroom and have a real sincere apology and they say they forgive them. but they won't never forget, but they forgive him. I've seen it happen before. I'm wondering how the female family is after listening to him.
I know me asking for forgiveness isn't gonna come with overnight. And I know justice needs to be brought forth so that Tatiana's life being taken away from her has been brought to justice. Thank you, Your Honor, for allowing me to address the court on my behalf. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Johnston. I'm not aware of that prior history as it relates to Mr. Johnston. However, there are separate aggravating circumstances that the court takes into consideration as it relates to Mr. Johnston's involvement in these circumstances. One, he pulled that firearm first. He had it down at his side. He's the one who fired first. He fired 10 rounds to Mr. Larry's 3, to Mr. Johnson's 1. Certainly those are more aggravating circumstances than what Mr. Larry did, what Mr. Johnson did even. He then fled on foot, took off.
So the other guy that they came looking for, he was already prepared because they was online talking about what they gonna do to him. He fired 10 shots. The other guy that just got his sentence first, the dark-skinned guy, shot 3. This guy right here that's up here, he's only shot 1. 1 shot. 1 shot got them life without parole. Yo, man. Yo, this is wild. I'm wondering what the other guy got. If they even charged him with it, because they showed video of basically him defending himself because they were saying what they're going to do when they see him. So they might have took accountability that he had no choice. And that's why the first guy that got sentenced could not fight it on self-defense, because you already prepped the guy for what you was going to do when you see him. This is deep right here, man. Our young world, boy, y'all wilding out here, man. Make sure y'all share this, man. If y'all new in the chat right now, man, hit that like button for me. If you're new in the chat, please subscribe.
Off with Mr. Larry and another individual dropped the gun in the garbage can by Tyson Middle School and fled the state. Attorney Sings pointed out some various ways that one could view that fleeing, whether it's going home to seek support and solace, whether it's trying to evade capture. I think the fact that he took off certainly showed some level of recognition that what he did was wrong. What he did was against the law.
If you're looking for someone with a great personality to...
And once again, snitching gets you nowhere. Fight your case or cop out to what you know you did wrong and face your time. Be a man and stand on what you did, because snitching didn't even help this guy, man. And now he's getting ready to do a rough time in jail, because no way they was going to beat that. So you should have just let the prosecutor and the police do their jobs. That's it. And he was the one that took on being the big brother to the other guy and told the other guy, don't pick on him. Deal with him. And he still came in there and told something.
As Attorney Singh pointed out, I don't believe there was any evidence at the trial or otherwise that the actions of Mr. Johnston were premeditated in any way. So I take that as a mitigating factor in looking at the gravity of the offense. Gravity of the offense necessarily under these types of circumstances dovetails into public safety issues that the court needs to consider. Attorney Tony referenced these circumstances today. He referenced them this morning. The court referenced them this morning. It's something that I noted from the very get-go the first time that I saw the video of this shooting. I didn't hear the preliminary hearing, so I had not seen that video until the trial. You have Mr. Johnston standing outside the doorway. He raises his arm to shoot at the group of individuals. You have Mr. Larry shooting from the doorway. There's other people that are in the parking lot. There's people in the apartments across the way. And then you have this little 5-6-year-old boy that scoots by on his scooter right underneath the gunfire. Whether by virtue of sheer dumb luck or the grace of God, that little boy wasn't harmed.
Right.
But I point that out because it is a clear, tangible.
That could have been a double homicide with a little boy being hit. That's crazy, man. We gotta be careful of our actions out here, man.
Circumstance that shows how dangerous these circumstances were. And that factors into the court's consideration of not only the public safety as it relates to this crime, but I also need to look at public safety in the future. And that dovetails into looking at the character of Mr. Johnston as to whether, based on the sentence structure put in place, based on the opportunities that may or may not be made available to him, that will he take advantage of them? Is he going to put others at risk in the future? Clearly, the behavior that happened here, the circumstances here, put many people at risk. Far more people than charges were brought in this case, because there was no charge associated with that little boy.
And see, these are the reasons why, she just said that he put so many people at risk, him and the other guys that was firing off, so many other people, especially that little boy that was right there. And really, I don't even want to say especially the little boy, because all lives matter. It doesn't matter what color it is, nothing. You put people in harm's way. But why I say especially little boy, because that's a kid that didn't even see nothing in life yet. So that's one of the reasons I'm thinking the judge still don't care that he cooperated.
And the people that suffered direct injuries or were part of that group taking out the garbage were not made identified victims in this case, but certainly were put at risk by the behavior and the actions of Mr. Johnston. In looking at the character of Mr. Johnston, I'll start by acknowledging that he too is incredibly young. 17 at the time, 19 now. He has not, I believe, have any prior criminal history, no prior juvenile history. Certainly that speaks to his favor. What doesn't are the conduct reports that Attorney Tony had referenced that are referenced in the PSI. Some of those do give the court concern as they reference a continued assaultive type behavior. This isn't just failing to follow the rules of the jail and you're getting written up. One references that he was throwing fist strikes with a closed fist to the other inmate's face and head area, continued fighting the other person at least 12 times. That was.
And see, they're saying that he was in jail fighting. He was fighting somebody, throwing head blows, face blows, meaning he still could be considered dangerous. And he's speaking good in there, but in jail when he was getting written up, he was fighting somebody and had fights with him at least 12 times. And see, that's when his lawyer should have been speaking up. Hopefully they use that in closing arguments, but it might be too late with that closing argument stuff. But he probably was in there fighting because he's labeled as a rat. and they trying him in there. So he has no choice but to fight. And he should have, spoke that to the person who was writing him up, if that be the case. Because the way he talking right here, I don't get him in there wanting to start no trouble and all that, knowing what he's about to go to court and face the time that he's getting. He had to be in there fighting because he's considered a rat. And he's getting ready to have a longer journey. He ain't even in prison. That's in the county jail.
From circumstances in September of last year, then from February of this year, getting into a fight again, striking another inmate at least 11 times with a closed fist.
Now, that was another inmate he got into it with. They gotta be messing with him because he's considered a rat. Because evidently it sounds like he's not a punk. He in there thumping. And that's the county jail. When he go to prison, man, listen.
It states he then dragged them under the staircase and again attacked them, hitting in the head with a closed fist at least 5 times.
He thumping. He drug somebody under the staircase.
Another reference from May 12th of this year. What started, it seems, as exchanging words, it says, with another inmate. It says he then struck the other.
See, exchanging words, but they ain't saying what the words was said, what was said verbally. They just giving the judge a breakdown of what he been doing. Exchanging words. They are in there on his neck for ratting.
Inmate in the head with a closed fist. Now, I recognize the
He's
circumstances that Attorney Singh pointed out.
Rats don't be no punks neither.
And that is fair argument for the court to consider. But certainly what's before the
But
court
they're going to hold that against him right now. Wow.
is very
After he cooperated and helped the case with the other guy that went to trial. Wow.
violent, assaultive type crimes.
But everybody want to be a rat. Instead of just take your time. Do your time.
And I'm looking at how one conducts themselves so that I can have an understanding, as best I can glean, as to how they will take advantage of opportunities made available to them, how they will utilize their time in confinement, and whether or not that type of behavior is going to continue into the future. And so certainly looking at those circumstances does give the court some concern. Now, a lot has been talked about from both parties here as it relates to Mr. Johnston's character and his taking responsibility in this case. I give him credit for that. Absolutely. As Attorney Singh phrased it, I'm not certain I would phrase it the same. He indicated that Mr. Johnston stood up for Ms. Zeck. Again, I'm not certain I agree with that phraseology. He certainly, after the fact, looked at his behavior and took ownership of that behavior. He entered guilty pleas acknowledging that behavior, which meant a trial did not need to happen. So as far as manning up and owning one's behavior, I do.
He definitely manned up, but he shouldn't have added the snitch part. Just let them do their job and tell them you just wanted to get your time and take your time. Let them know you feel bad and remorseful, but now you're going to have a rough time in jail. And those are the purposes of not wanting to man up, man. I mean, not wanting to snitch, rather, excuse me. Own up to what you did. Especially, I know you feel bad about it. Now, it's a gift and a curse now. Because at the end of the day, he wasn't going to win in trial either. So, and they didn't make you no promise of what you was ratting on and couldn't have. but I think they might have. Well, let's finish watching.
Give you credit for that, Mr. Johnson. It's not often that this court sees that. And it was done in a manner that shows genuineness. I have no reason to doubt. I certainly believe Attorney Singh and take him at his word that those statements were made to Attorney Singh very early on in this case. For Attorney Singh to do his job, he certainly needed to review that discovery. The procedures as it relates to the court process needed to continue. So it's my understanding and my belief that you wished to take ownership for your behavior and these crimes from a very early time in this case, and I give you credit for that.
How much credit?
It did
What kind
spare
of
some
credit?
additional pain that victims' families would need to go through if this matter also went to a trial. And I do think, and agree with Attorney Singh, that the combination of that with some of the statements that Attorney Singh had referenced in his arguments show that you do have some certain level of insight into the seriousness of what happened here, the impact of that, not only on yourself, but on the lives of the other people that's impacted. Certainly, I think there is more for you to learn as you continue to grow and frankly get more experience in life. But it does show a certain level of accountability, and I do give you credit for that. What credit can't do, what taking responsibility can't provide, is taking it all away. We can't turn back time, right? We can't bring Ms. Zeck back. We can't take the bullet out of Javier's back.
That's another thing. The man that was in the house got a bullet in his back, laying in his bed sleep. What kind of mess is that?
We can't take away the injuries that Keyshawn has suffered. Those are things that the victims and their families will need to continue to deal with day in and day out for the rest of their lives. And you will need to deal with your understanding and your role in these circumstances day in and day out for the rest of your life. I don't envy either of those positions, but I too have a very important role in these circumstances, and the decision that this court makes is one that I do not take lightly. It is one that I will live with day in and day out for the rest of my life. I take my role seriously, and the sentence that the court imposes is one that I do not make lightly. I make considering all of these facts and circumstances, weighing those as I must, through the light of those gallant factors, to provide as best I can a just sentence.
And y'all watch the expression, man. Make sure y'all share this. Watch his expression once he gets his time. Y'all please share this, man. And hit that like button if you're new up here. Hit that subscribe button. Hit the notification button so you know when I'm up here. I'm bringing some more good stuff like this that's going to raise awareness to these young cats. I want y'all to watch his expression, man.
That factors all of those things into account. As it relates to count 1, the court is going to order life imprisonment without the possibility of extended supervision. I recognize that that is not what the state is requesting.
I gotta let y'all see this one more time, man. I gotta let y'all see this one more time. Anybody y'all know, any young cats, make sure y'all send this to them. This is what it looks like after you make that one decision by pulling a trigger unnecessarily, or especially when you're not even that type of person. This is what it looks like.
Life imprisonment without the possibility of extended supervision. I recognize that that is not what the state is requesting.
And the state wasn't requesting it. That means she overrode the state. I guess they told him whatever cop out to, they was gonna give him a certain amount of time, but the judge can't override it. So he still gambled with that. And now he's gonna be in there with life in prison without the possibility of parole as a rat, man. And people think ratting is cool. People think the police is their friends. They're not your friends. Sitting in that interrogation room, getting you some food, let you smoke a cigarette, laughing and joking with you. That's not it. That's crazy that he even did that. But that's what these kids don't understand. Mom and daddy ain't there, can't even help you or save you right now at this point. Mom and daddy can't even help and save you once you get in that police station, and they don't know what type of questions that they are asking you. And that you are in there cooperating so they can be able to tell you, don't say a word. You have the right to remain silent. That is the truth. They think that is just a saying. The right to remain silent means you are protected, so don't say nothing. Nothing you say is going to make them be your homeboy or your homegirl. The police do not care about you. Now look at this, man.
Recognize it is not what the defense is requesting. The court is required to sentence in a manner that provides a minimal amount of incarceration to the extent that is necessary. I do find that life imprisonment without any opportunity at extended supervision is necessary here. It's necessary to address the seriousness of these offenses.
Wow.
I do find that term of imprisonment is the minimum necessary to address the seriousness of these offenses and what has taken place.
And that's the minimum to her. And that's the minimum to her, y'all. And this is what I'm saying, man. Y'all cats out here thinking that you can just go outside, pull a weapon, start squeezing without paying attention to your surroundings, shooting from afar, and think that is cool. Knowing that people know you in those areas, in them neighborhoods. They got cameras everywhere now. Knowing that your next step is jail. Before you pulled that trigger, you knew that the next step is jail. So you was trying to get a point across for what? It doesn't make sense. It doesn't add up. Young cats, y'all better pay attention, man. This is what it really is. This is where you gonna be sitting next. And never gonna see your kids on the other side of that wall again. Your mother, your father, your brothers, your aunts, your uncles, whoever's in your life. You see his emotions. He said he don't want to be able to be behind bars. After the 20 years, can she be lenient on that he will have a chance to at least come home? He don't want that. He don't want to be able, I guess, not to come home and, spend and be there with his family, be there with his kid. Because he will rehabilitate himself throughout the process of the 20 years. The judge overrode what the DA was trying to give him after telling. Now he's going to jail as a rat for that much time. And he ratted for nothing. All y'all rats, man, y'all better pay attention, man. Get your balls up, man. And when you do something, own up to it without putting other people in it, man. That's just that. Or just don't do no crime. You don't have to worry about telling on nobody. If you gotta be out here in self-defense time, that's different. But just being mischievous in them streets, nothing to do, not going to school, not going to some type of after-school programs, not doing sports and staying out of trouble, even though you can still do sports and get into something, but do something to occupy your time, man. So this one right here really hits home, man. You get to see the face expressions on these young boys, man. He's 19 and the other one is 16. He was 17 and the other one was 14 when it happened. And what does it all mean? What do it all mean? Nothing. I just wanted you all to see this and see what I was seeing. Happy holidays to y'all. Your boy Big Boosie. Once again, please hit that like button for me. Hit the subscribe button if you're new up in the channel, and make sure y'all please share this. This is a must see.